Leading our coverage at 6, a story you'll only see on KX News. In 2017, Josh Gallion took over as North Dakota State Auditor. He won with more than 76% of the vote.
Gallion says he wants to be the best public servant he can rather than trying to win a popularity contest.
I love coming to work every day.
Despite working long hours and now gearing up for the campaign season, Josh Gallion believes his job as state auditor can make a positive impact at every level of government in the state of North Dakota. But the auditor's office and some of its audits have caused some shakeup. In May, Republican Governor Doug Burgum signed a law in which Gallion, also a Republican, and his office would have to get lawmakers' permission to conduct performance audits after his office was seen as being too aggressive, conducting audits at twice the rate of his predecessor. However, Gallion says he has no ill will towards the state's chief executive.
We actually sit on a board together. We have very professional, cordial discussions. I think it's people trying to make something there that isn't.
Gallion acknowledges audits are critical and can cause some challenges. Most recently, the Associated Press reported prosecutors wouldn't pursue criminal charges against North Dakota State College of Science officials accused by the auditor's office of withholding records from investigators. The AP says records they've obtained show the college's president and vice president are billing the state for legal fees of more than $36,000. Gallion's office says right now they're not commenting on that matter. Then there was the retracted audit of the city of Williston.
When that audit report was issued the first time, we had received all of the proper documentation from the city of Williston, the management response, and we were told, you have all the information, and so, we're done. And to issue the report, which we did. It was later that when the city auditor was out, I believe, on a medical issue, we received additional information from the city administrator and the city attorney.
The state auditor says, rest assured, his office does not have unchecked power and is not above being held accountable.
The auditor's office actually receives more audits than most people. We go through an audit from a private firm. We have internal reviews of our audit reports, and we also go through what's called a peer review, which is governed by the National State Auditors Association.
The auditor has to have that independence to go where he wants, when he wants. That is an essential function of that office.
Gordy Smith, a retired 36-year state audit manager, believes the restrictions put in place on Gallion by the governor was not the best decision. He says he remembers audit office employees not being the most popular people to walk through the doors. Yet understanding the needs and concerns of those being audited is crucial.
When I worked there, one of the best sources of information were the people in the trenches with the agencies. We'd ask them what laws, rules, regulations, policies make your job harder.
But what he believes is making things hard for those being audited by Gallion's office is information going out to the public too fast.
And they're not going to be volunteering things to the auditors if the auditors are going to run to the press with them and they're going to crucify the agency over it, rather than work with them and say, let's come up with a reasonable solution to this that we can both agree on and move forward.
Information coming fast and furious or not, Gallion says while people are entitled to their opinion, there is one major misconception he wants to clear up.
The misconception is it's me, like I'm walking around with some hammer. No, I'm just trying to open things up. I want to open up all the doors and windows and let people see in.
Because above all, Gallion says,
the citizens, they are the ones that need to hold their government accountable.
And you can look at the results of those standards applied to the 45 state agency audits conducted as of December 10th on the state auditor's website.